Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aquarius. If Aquarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so tonight our card is the Prince of Swords. Okay, and let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Okay, so we have a face here. It looks like we have the eye here, and it's wearing a crown, this face, maybe a beard of some kind. It could be a goatee. Almost looks like they have a flower kind of in their mouth, the stem, and here's the flower on this side. So it seems that we have a very romantic ruler here. Somebody who, is kind of prone to grand gestures. And I feel like you must have somebody, or maybe you are this somebody, that really likes to show out for those that you love and care for. You like to maybe give sweet little gifts and make the people in your life know that they are cared for and you've thought about them, so I think that this is kind of like one of your love languages, as they call it, or maybe this is somebody you have in your life who kind of communicates in this way, and it's something that you appreciate about them. Not just the gifts, right? It's the fact that there's a lot of care, that there is a sense of, okay, I'm so busy all the time. There's so many things going on, or they are so busy all the time, but there's always enough time to think about, what would this person I love, feel like if I gave them a little flower or, brought them a little treat or took them to dinner or whatever it is, lots of different ways to express our love, of course. So, I think that this is a really big energy right now. It's large, right? So it could be that there's some kind of anniversary going on, or maybe some kind of holiday, birthday, something, right? Maybe it's just the time of year. But I do think that there is a sense of a lot of love being expressed. And I think this is it's something that makes you feel good. If it is you expressing or you receiving, or both, right? And of course, as I always mention, this could be that you are kind of courting yourself and doing special things for yourself, which ultimately is maybe the best love affair that we can have, isn't it? Okay, let's see. Let's turn this thing. Okay, so we have a person here who is kind of releasing a bird. You can see this bird, and the bird is going right for this little heart. You can see it's flying, and here's the person, arms up, head, body, and maybe I almost kind of think of a dervish, a Sufi dervish, kind of in a a dance of ecstatic love with the divine, right? And this bird. Now this doesn't look it doesn't look like a dove, right? Like a dove of peace. This looks like a bird that is just absolutely, you know, darting down towards this heart. And so I feel like there is a real sense of purpose here. And it is love. And I think that this is kind of an extension of our first symbol. And so I do think that in some way this is partially romantic, but I think more than that, this is about extending the romantic aspects into divine forms. Making this a spiritual connection. This is something that goes beyond just our run-of-the-mill, right, kind of love and courtship and enchantments. This is a love that is beyond love. This is a love that is transformative. This is a love that, you know, it is very much about the person that you are, you know, maybe with or yourself or however this is being expressed in your waking life. But even more than that, it is so much tied to your relationship with God or your relationship with Goddess or your relationship with the universe, the divine. Whatever you call it, whatever you call that thing, that, you know, ineffable thing, it is so alive and well here. It is in every aspect of your life. And so it is, there's a strengthening, there is a devotion, and I feel that I just feel like you're so focused on the healing, on the experience of rising, coming out of, you know, if you could imagine getting to the entrance of a cave, coming out of the ground, some subterranean place. You have been trying to find your way in the dark, trying to get out of this sunken feeling. And finally, there is some light. There is some light at the end of this little tunnel. It is not just a tunnel, and it is not just a little light. It is your reemergence. And so much of it is fueled by your connection to the greater source. Spirit being your best friend, you know? Spirit being in everything you say and do. And there's a feeling of just evolution here. Self-evolution. I can even imagine that, and though you are happy, or at least in moments, there's a sense of going a little slower, speaking a little more quietly, not because you shrink to the world, but because you are so much in yourself. So you are so much of yourself. There's no reason to raise your voice. There's no reason to have to yell. There's an ease here, an easy energy, a kind of, you know, chilling out of the soul a bit. And there is a little bit, it's more sedate, I would say. And I think that there's a centering here. You know, you will not push yourself to places that you do not need to be. And what you need will let itself be known. Right? I think it's one of those times where it just kind of it comes together as it is supposed to. And you trust in it. And it's a difficult place to get to. But when you can, it feels kind of magnificent, I would say. Now we have, and I keep looking at this as a mirror, but it looks like an egg. Like it looks like a mirror. It kind of looks like an egg. Now we also have, it looks like TM, and then we also have, and it's a person and they're standing here, and it looks like they are kind of pulling on the, it looks like they're maybe kind of feeding this duck. It looks like a little duck up here on the end of the M. And I almost feel like, you know, kind of, now have you ever had duck eggs? They're really, really good. Turkey eggs too, domestic turkey eggs are fantastic as well. If you partake in, you know, animal things. But yeah, I do. I feel like this is like it feels to me like you're in this return to simplistic things. You might be really getting in that mode of like, I'm going to grow some of my own food. I'm going to raise some animals. I'm going to, you know, try to do as many things as I can to sustain my life. So I'm partaking in the process, right? And it's a lot of work to live that way. You know, if you've ever attempted, like myself, I've attempted, not always succeeded. But you know, it's a way of life. It's not really something that you can just, casually dabble in, right? A little bit. It's a lot to do. So I do, though. I feel like this is maybe how you live already, or this is maybe something that you're interested in. Your life has come to this point where things have aligned and you have some, you know, maybe some more time, or maybe you're working like a different schedule, or, you know, whatever it could be. Maybe you work from home, or you're post-work, you know, it could be that as well. Or maybe you are, like myself, primarily like a homemaker, or whatever you want to call it, stay-at-home mom. And yeah, making this kind of a goal for yourself. So I could see this being a year where you are, you know, trying some things, doing some things. Before I had my daughter, I was really, on this, like, trying to do, like, from the bottom up. I was even, like, hand washing all of my clothes and hang drying them, and I would like to get back to that for sure, but with it, you know, with a kid, it's just, I have so much respect for how people have lived before these last few generations. Like, it's just, your days are full. I mean, absolutely full. There is no real rest there if you were, you know, doing all the things. And I think of like my great grandmother who she was, even in her, 90s, still doing a lot of the chores she grew up doing on the farm, and I just couldn't believe it when I was a kid, I grew up with her, and I still think, and now I think about it, I'm like, my goodness, and she raised all these children, and it's just, lots of respect for our elders. I think sometimes we fail to consider how much work they really had to do. We're really privileged, a lot of us. Okay, let's see. We have a cup, it looks like. Sorry, this is out of focus. I'm looking at the cup here. We have a cup. And oh, yes. Okay, so then we have, it looks like a sphinx here. And we have a person standing here. And this one actually looks like a person as well on this side. Okay, so I kind of, I'm looking at this and it looks like this person is holding a bag of money. And I feel like there is almost a sense of, maybe, how should I put this? It feels like there are people within your family or your friends group or whatever it is, and they really, they kind of really team up to try to, I don't know, like where I come from, we call it running game on people, and really it is, it's kind of like, not really like conning somebody or stealing from them, but really always just kind of, like asking to borrow money and never paying it back, and kind of trying to, use like emotional and mental tactics to put you in a place of feeling a lot of empathy for them, and really trying to take advantage, right? And so I think, this is something where it's almost like you don't fall for it, but these are people you maybe have like grown up with, or their family, and maybe you are a person that really prioritizes family connection, and so you maybe you can afford it, or maybe you can't, but you still try to help where you can. And I do think that, in this time, there will be another situation where they are going to kind of maybe come and ask for some money, right? And I mean, I think that's what it really comes down to. And I think this is kind of the time where, it's kind of like, all right, well, I've helped you before, and still it feels like I'm starting to maybe enable this behavior, and I can't really in good conscience help here this time, do this time. And And so I think it really comes down to like how do they respond? And that's really telling, right? How does somebody kind of behave when you are unable to kind of do something for them? And I feel like this is kind of where you know, this energy comes in with the Prince of Swords, is that the Prince of Swords, I think, is kind of an idealist a little bit, but also you know, just really excited and passionate about creating, but also innovating and finding ways to fix things, and you know, kind of very studious in their work and so on. So I do feel like there's a sense of trying to explore this situation a little bit on your end. And I think that you are. There's a kind of testing of what's going to happen here, right? You know, and I think it will be kind of the answer that you're looking for. You know, I don't know what they will behave like, but I know that, you know, when somebody in earnest needs help and you cannot provide that for them, it's, you know, usually that, we can come to some kind of more reasonable thing here, you know, a conclusion to this thing, or a situation where we can, you know, compromise or figure something out, right? Whereas if somebody just loses it, they're angry because, you know, they've lost their source of income in some ways. Then you know, they don't have good intentions, or at least they don't have coping skills, you know. So yeah, I don't know. Sometimes we just kind of have to sometimes say, no, this is too much. And you know, and I don't ultimately know what's going to happen, but I do think that if you stay out of your emotional brain a little bit, not always, not completely and not forever, but in this situation, really let yourself know, remind yourself before you have this conversation with this person, or people, stay strong, right? You have to have some resolve here, especially if it's like one of your kids, you know, and we know how that goes. They, you know, they know how to get to our heart, don't they? So, you know, I think this is just a bit of a situation where, something is to be learned. Something is to be learned. Okay, so we have a motorcycle, we have a bird flying, we have a big fish, and a walking stick, 2 walking sticks. So I wonder if you're going to be going on a little trip here. I wonder if you do ride motorcycles, or somebody that you're close to does. It kind of feels like that open road vibe. Here we call it, well, I don't, but I guess locally, regionally, they call them motorcycles, which I had never heard until I moved to this area. I was like, what are you talking about? Motorcycles. So that's a little, a little interesting tidbit about this part of the Midwest. Now, okay, so we have a 7 and we have a fish. So it is a lucky jackpot. Yes, it is a lucky jackpot there. And the fish, abundance. So it will be a good amount of some kind of resources, maybe financial. But yes, a good time, a good time to maybe invest, a good time to maybe, you know, work on some projects that maybe will make you some money, a good time for looking for new clients, whatever kind of work you're doing, you know, whatever it is, however you make money, or your side hustle or whatever, Maybe, now I don't ever promote gambling, and I don't gamble, so I don't really know anything about it. I've never gambled in my life, actually. Not because I think super poorly of it or anything. I just don't know anything about it, and it's one less, thing that for me to screw up there. Maybe it is that this is a lucky time, but I won't ever say, go gamble or anything. Let's see. The walking sticks. Yeah, so I do also think there's a sense of getting outside, getting into those unnatural spaces, the wilderness, hiking, maybe seeing some mountains or trees or whatever it is, and and I feel like this is really a happy place for you. It's kind of, I think, maybe going on a little trip so you can get into some of those, national parks, state parks, or what, if you're in a different country. I don't know what they are, what you call them there, but they're big wilderness areas usually here. So I could see that being good. Also, we have a bird, so I do feel like there is a sense of some kind of message coming through from somebody that has, somebody that's maybe transitioned. And I do feel like our big things here at the beginning and the end, right? This feeling of love and being appreciated. And then we had, kind of the, some family member kind of getting in there looking for something, money probably, but also a sense of luck rising. So I do feel like, there is this feeling of, maybe a message coming through when you're in this wilderness area, when you're out there in the world, taking a walk through the park, or going swimming in the lake, or wherever you're going, whatever you're going to be doing. And I think that there will be a moment where you probably see an animal or something, because these, I feel like spirit really does, it really is so much in our experiences with animal life. I mean, how many times have you seen some animal and you think, that reminds me of like my dad for some reason, or that reminds me of like my grandfather, my grandma. I know that they are here. I feel them. That's, maybe like their spirit animal, or an animal that has, they really loved, right? Or just you look at them in the eyes, and for some reason it just takes you to that place with your beloved person. And so I think you'll have a moment where it's like, okay, I know they're here with me, and they are, right? They're showing themselves to you. Look forward to that, because it will happen soon. And overall, it feels like, this is a time that, it's feeling good. It's feeling good. Now there's some challenges, but, nothing too devastating, I don't think. And so let's take a look at our Dreamers deck, 40 affirmations for pursuing your dreams. And I'm going to flip through here. I'll stop where it feels right. And it says, I know that I have everything it takes to build the life of my dreams. I am capable. I am capable. All right. That sounds good. And true. And it sounds true as well. So, Aquarius, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you would like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. They mean the world to me. I'm a couple of days behind, I think, right now. I have to go through and reread. I read them as they come, kind of. Not every few hours I'll take a look, but we're in the middle of getting things moved and getting our new studio set up, and so it's been a little wild around here. Let me just tell you the truth. But I will get to them here in the next couple days. Trying to get ahead there a little bit. All right, so with that, I will tell you I love you. I love you. I love you. Take care of yourself, and we will talk just a few days from now. Good night.